Okay, let's move on now to part 3. So here are some of the possible questions. Remember, in part 3, the examiner may just make up questions based on what you say, but this is a guideline, especially of the kind of questions you may be asked. Here we go. What is the most popular means of transport in your country? What are the advantages and disadvantages of travelling by car? How are our cities adapted to cars? Ooh. And do you think people will drive cars more in the future? Some good questions, right? To really get you thinking and rack your brains. Okay, so let me take one of these questions. The first one, what is the most popular means of transport in your country? Okay, so this is what I said. Probably the car. Most families have at least one car, and many people will commute to work by car. Certainly for day trips and short holidays, people like the flexibility that a car offers. So if you want to take a detour and visit a sightseeing spot, you can. Mind you, I do recognise that nowadays more and more people are being socially responsible and they are using public transport such as trains and buses. Of course they are. It helps protect the environment, right? So what I've done here, as we can see, is I've given a very direct answer, right? What's the most popular means? Probably the car, right? I think most likely the car. And then I go on to give a bit more detail or an example of that. Most families have the car to commute, and then going deeper. Certainly for day trips, certainly, right? For day trips and holidays, people like the car. And going even deeper, so, and this is the reason, right? They like the car. And so if you want to take a detour, you can do that. So it's going deeper and deeper. And then at the end, mind you, so that's a but, right? I've given one opinion, but I'm now giving a counter opinion. You don't have to do this, but it can be nice to do it. It can show off more language. So mind you, I do recognise that, not everybody's using the car. They are using buses and trains. So I give a kind of a counter argument here. So that's the structure. And it's all about going deeper and deeper. And then just at the end, because my answer was too short, I gave a counter argument, if you like. Now, let's look at the vocabulary. Well, we've got to commute to work, to commute by car, right? And then this lovely expression, people like the flexibility that a car offers, right? Instead of saying, I like the car because it's flexible, you take the flexible, the adjective, and you convert it to a noun. I like the flexibility it offers, right? Why do I like Santander? I like the beauty that it offers, right? I like the entertainment that it offers. So you can change it around. You put the noun, I like the flexibility that this car offers. Yeah. I like the efficiency that my phone offers. I like the convenience that my phone offers or offers me. Lovely expression, right? If you want to take a detour, so to take a detour is when your plan is to go on this route, this route, but then you go a different way. You take a detour is to take a different route, different route to go to the same place or to go to another place, right? To visit a sightseeing spot, a tourist attraction, something like that. Mind you, great. That's very natural. Instead of but, just mind you. People are socially responsible. So this is, taking responsibility as a member of society to look after the society and look after the environment. So I'm being socially responsible when I recycle, when I drive an electric car, when I take the bus instead of my own car. So this is being socially responsible. Great. Let's look at another question. Okay. What are the advantages and disadvantages of traveling by car? This is what I might say. I would say the main benefits are convenience and comfort. So you just walk out of your house, jump in your car, and you can drive directly to wherever you're going. As you're traveling, you can sit comfortably, adjust the air conditioning, and even listen to music. You can do whatever you feel like, actually. The downside is your carbon footprint, right? Driving by car is not very good for the environment. Okay, let's look at the structure here. So I've given my opinion. I've started with the advantages. I would say, it's my opinion, I would say blah, blah, blah. So you just, so I'm going deeper, right? There's my opinion that I'm going deeper. Through a kind of example, you walk out the house, jump in the car and drive. As you're traveling, going deeper, it's another example of the benefit, right? So it's going deeper, exemplifying the benefits here. And you can do whatever you feel like, actually. It's nice connector at the end of the sentence. And then at the end, again, a bit like the counterpoint, but it'd be here because the question is disadvantages as well. I've decided to include disadvantages. You don't have to, right? It's not like an essay or a writing essay where you must have advantages and disadvantages. This is speaking. It's a conversation. So you may just speak about advantages. That's fine. The important thing is to keep speaking. Here, I felt my answer was a bit short, so I did go on to talk about the disadvantages. The downside is, right, the disadvantages, D. So nice, clear structure, fairly coherent, but it's all about opinion and go deeper and go deeper. Examples. My examples here are kind of like the reason. What about the language? Well, the advantages, I say the main benefits. So you can use different synonyms, right? The pros, the benefits, the upsides, the advantages. Convenience and comfort. So this is an example of a binomial. And a binomial is normally adjective and adjective, right? Neat and tidy. Short and sweet. Very common expressions. They're really nice. You can make them up. There are some fixed ones, but you can also make them up. Convenience and comfort, I've kind of made up, but it's nice. So you just walk out of your house, jump in your car, and you can drive directly to wherever you're going. Now, there's no fancy vocabulary other than jump in your car, right? Because that is idiomatic. You're not jumping in your car, at least not at my age. You're just sitting in the car, but we use that to jump on the bus, to jump in your car. Okay. What's interesting here is the pattern of 3. 1, 2, 3. When we're speaking, we often use this pattern of 3, right? I walk out the house, jump in the car, and drive directly to where I'm going, right? I get up, brush my teeth, have breakfast. Boom. 1, 2, 3. It's a very natural and common pattern in speaking. And it comes up again. As you're traveling, you can sit comfortably, adjust the air conditioning, and even listen to music. So that pattern of 3 is really nice. It gives a nice rhythm to your answer as well. You should practice that kind of pattern with all sorts of things when you're describing things. Okay. Adjust the air conditioning, fairly straightforward to change or to tweak maybe the air conditioning. And then the downside is the disadvantage. So the downside, the con, the negative point, things like that. Carbon footprint is how much fossil fuel, if you like, that you are using personally. My personal carbon footprint is the amount of emissions and fossil fuels I'm putting in the environment. So we all have a carbon footprint, and driving by car, especially if it's not electric, doesn't help your carbon footprint. Au contraire, it makes it bigger, right? Which is not good for the environment. Good for, remember, good for something. Great. So you'll notice it's not just about fancy vocabulary, right? It's about little things that are very powerful. The pattern of 3, binomials, things like that, a few synonyms. Okay, great. That's the end of our road trip. I hope you enjoyed it.